WRSR, Owasso, Flint. The following program has been pre-recorded and is paid for by Discover Flint Township. The views expressed are those of Discover Flint Township and do not necessarily reflect the views of 103.9 The Fox or Krill Communications, Inc. Welcome to Discover Flint Township, a program showcasing our local community. Flint Township is ready for your next move. And now, your host, Flint Township Economic Enhancement Director, Tracey Tucker.
I'm Tracey Tucker, and this is Discover Flint Township, brought to you by the Flint Township Economic Development Authorities, HAP, Financial Plus Credit Union, Shea Automotive Group, and 103.9 The Fox. This morning, we will be speaking with Heidi Zuniga from Financial Plus Credit Union, and we are going to be talking about home equity loans. So we're going to get started right away. Hey, Heidi, how are you today?
I'm good. Morning, Tracey. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad that you could come into the studios. Life is starting to get back to normal.
I know. Yay.
I love it. I love it. So you are going to talk about something that affects a lot of people, and that is home equity loans and how people can really look for cash in their own home, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Cool.
And it really couldn't be a better time right now. I mean, with the values being up right now, a lot of people don't think about it, but utilizing the equity in your home are some great advantages to that. We offer at Financial Plus, we offer home equity loans, and we also offer home equity lines of credit. Right. A great product for people who are looking to do home improvements. Maybe you're looking to pull some cash out for helping your kids with their college education or your college education, vacations, maybe down payment, or just cash out to purchase a second home, vacation home.
Oh, second home. A lot of people are just still looking for that first one, yes, so they can have the home equity.
Yes.
So that's great, and I know that most banks offer equity loans, equity line of credit. But we are specifically talking with Financial Plus Credit Union today, and if you use a different bank, you can check with them as well. But today we're going to dive in a little deeper with Heidi. So if you have your home and you have the equity, can you use the home as collateral for the loan? How does that work?
Yes. So when you are looking at doing a home equity loan or a line of credit, we do utilize your home as collateral for the loan. Okay. So there is a lien that is placed on your home. It's a second lien. It could be a first lien if you don't have a mortgage. Okay. Sometimes people will look at doing a home equity loan because the costs are much lower than doing a first mortgage. So it could be a first lien. It could be a second lien. Yeah. But it is a lien against the property. We do go up to 90%, which a lot of other lenders won't go that high.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, it's on a case-by-case scenario, but we do go up to 90% combined loan to value of what the home appraises for, versus, the loan amount that you're looking to take out.
Sure. That makes sense. So, and you have to have a recorded mortgage if you have a mortgage, right?
Yes. So it does get recorded. It is a lien on the property. Okay. Once it's paid off, then, just like a regular mortgage, we would do a discharge of lien against the loan.
Okay. So, and then you also talked about a line of credit. So what is the difference between a loan, an equity loan, and an equity line of credit?
So with a home equity loan, it is a fixed rate, and usually there is a set term. It could be 10 years, it could be 15 years, but just depending on how long you want to take the loan out for, the payment is going to be the same every month. The interest rate is going to be fixed based on your loan to value, credit score. Those are different things that we take into consideration when we're offering the loan, but the interest rate is fixed, and it is a closed-end loan, so your payment's the same every month. You're paying principal and interest on the loan until the loan's paid in full.
Okay.
On a home equity line of credit, that is a little bit different. So on a home equity line of credit, it is a variable rate. it is tied to the prime rate. So as prime starts to adjust, whether it goes up or down, your interest rate can also rise.
Okay.
The flexibility of a home equity line of credit is what most people are after. If you're looking to do home improvements, but you're not sure, you haven't mapped out all the costs, or if you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, but you're not sure exactly how much it's going to run, some people will do a home equity line of credit where they can just draw off it as needed. The nice thing about a home equity line of credit is the payment is amortized over 15 years. At Financial Plus, we have a 5-year draw period. So you can draw off the line of credit, you can pay it down and reuse it up to 5 years. So after the 5 years expires, then whatever the balance is at that time, it would just go into repayment for the remaining 10 years. If there's not a balance on it, then the line just closes down. Obviously, we can look at rewriting it for you if you'd like to keep it open. But it is really nice because you can reuse it as much as you want.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, if you're not sure, exactly what you're wanting to do, if you don't have a set amount that you know that you need, it is nice. Other people use it for emergencies, or like if their kids are going to college and they need it for tuition, they can just draw off what they need and pay it off and then reuse it. Right. So it does make it very
Or
convenient.
if they're remodeling and especially if you have an older home, you could run into other issues that come up, and that
always
that you might think it might be a $10,000 job, and so you add in maybe another $5,000 on the line of credit just in case you run into something, and next thing you know, you did need that money.
Absolutely. And people have used it just it's just always nice to have that backup for emergency purposes.
Sure. So now you also talk about how you come to the conclusion of how much equity they have and what the value of their home is. Now, how do you determine that? Is it through appraisal, AVM, and why don't you describe to our listeners what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So recently we have switched over to using AVMs, which is an automated valuation of the value of your property. So we do not require an appraisal. We can use the automated valuation, which will give us an estimated value on what your property is worth. Now, for whatever reason, if you think your home may be valued higher than that and you're not getting the amount of the loan or the line that you want, we always offer the option of doing a full appraisal. And that is when an appraiser would actually come out, and he would come, it'd be an interior exterior valuation. And you know what, if you've done a lot of improvements to your house on the inside, sometimes the automated valuation, they're not going to know that unless, the appraiser actually comes out. People have done that. So where sometimes, you're like, oh, it'd just be easier not to have it. Depending on how much you're needing to take out, it may be worth it to do the appraisal.
Sure. That makes sense. And so, that determines, once you have the valuation of the home, that determines how much equity they have in the home, right?
Absolutely. So again, depending on how much you're wanting to borrow versus the value, and that, like I said, that affects, as far as it can affect your interest rate. Obviously, the higher loan to values we go, or the longer term, the interest rate can be a little bit higher on a fixed rate loan. A line of credit also, just depending on what we're going up to as far as our loan to value, it can affect the interest rate.
Right. And I don't know, we're talking about home equity loans, but people might not understand what equity means.
Yes.
That means the difference between what's left in their mortgage, right, and what the value is. So it's that gap in between. So if your home is worth $100,000 and you have $45,000 left in your mortgage that needs to be paid off, then your equity is 55, right? 55,000. Okay. I just wanted to describe that for people because not everybody may understand what that means. So
Absolutely. And
I just hope I described it right.
Yeah. And so, for instance, yes, if you're looking at, if your value is $100,000, and like I said, the max that we can go up to would be the 90% of that. So 90,000 minus whatever mortgage. If you have a mortgage, we'd have to subtract that out, and that's what you would have available to utilize.
Okay. All right. So now, are there any closing costs or anything with this? I know, like when you do a regular mortgage, there is.
Yes. So in this case, there are costs that, we still have to, we have to pay for the automated valuation or the appraisal. We still have to pay for the title work. But the great thing about getting your home equity loan or line through Financial Plus is there is no cost to our borrowers. They are all lender paid fees. So where you'll still see there'll be fees noted, but they'll be paid by us. They'll be paid by Financial Plus.
Okay.
So how great is that?
That includes the appraisal and the title work and all that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, if you
so
decide,
that's something for people to look at
absolutely.
when they're looking at loans. Don't just look at the interest rates. You need to look at what kind of costs are associated with getting the loan, and who's offering what. And in this case, you're offering zero for those fees. That's
absolutely
good.
Because even if we do an appraisal, we will collect the appraisal fee up front from our members, but we refund that to them at the day of closing when the loan funds, we will refund that. So ultimately, there will be no cost to our members.
Okay. Wow. All right. And then I know you have great rates, and our listeners can check with their bank for rates as well. But since we have Heidi here, we're going to let her talk a little bit about the rates at Financial Plus.
Yeah. So like I said, we have awesome rates. We have our fixed home equities can be as low as 3.99 APR. Again, like I said, your interest rate will depend on the term of loan, how long you want to take it out for, and also our loan to value, how much you're borrowing versus the value of the home. Our HELOCs start as low as 3% APR. And so again, there are no costs to our members. Again, on the home equity line of credit, those rates are based on the prime rate. So again, it is a variable rate. However, it's just going to fluctuate with prime. So as the rates start to go up, that rate could also go up. However, if you're not utilizing it, you're only paying interest on the funds that you are actually drawing off the line of credit.
So you could get a line of credit today, lock in. No, those are variable, right?
Right.
So it's only fixed if you do the equity loan.
Yes. If you do the loan, a home equity line of credit is exactly what it is. It's a line of credit, so that does have the variable rate. But again, you're only paying interest on the funds that you're borrowing. So basically, it's almost kind of like if you look at it like a credit card, you would get a monthly statement based on what your balance is for that month. If you have a zero balance or you pay it off before the end of the billing cycle, there's no interest being charged to you.
So if you're worried about the interest rates going up, which a lot of people are, you would be best to get in and get the fixed rate, which is the equity loan.
Yes.
And if you're not too concerned about it because you don't know how much you're actually in need and you pay your stuff off rather quickly, so you're not going to have an extended period of interest, you could look at the HELOC or home equity line of credit, right?
Correct.
All right, awesome.
And what I've kind of told my members is, like, for instance, if you are doing like a remodel or renovation, you might be better off looking at the line of credit. And once you're completed, we could always even look at rolling, rewriting it into a fixed rate loan if you're really concerned about, rates.
Yeah, great. So a lot of great information. And if they want to get more information, you can check with your own bank, or you can look into Financial Plus Credit Union with Heidi Zuniga. And where can they get a hold of you, Heidi?
So, if they're looking for information, general information, they can go to myfpcu.com. That's our website. Or feel free to contact me directly. You can call me at 810-244-7356. Again, that number is 810-244-7356. Or you can email me at hzuniga@myfinancialpluscreditunion.com.
Yeah, and the rates for the interest can vary. And the NMLS number for Financial Plus is 586579, and MLS number for Heidi is 518085. I've been told we need to say that when we're talking about interest rates, so make sure we get that in. So I want to thank Heidi for coming in with us, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. So now we're being joined by Lo White for our business spotlight, and Lo is with AMI Tech, which is a training institute, right?
That's right.
All right. So most people probably never heard of that or have seen the sign and they're like, what is that? Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're about here at Discover Flint Township, is helping people discover what's in their own backyard. So
Exactly.
So why don't you give out your location? You're on Marketplace. What's the address there?
That's correct. It's 4110 Marketplace, Flint, Michigan 48507. We're actually, if anybody knows where UPS is, or Signs by Craney.
Right.
Or
Over by the airport.
Right there.
So they're in that industrial park. So if
Up of Bristol Road.
Yeah, and one of the things you do is, and I'll explain how I met Lo. This is so funny.
This is funny.
I was actually at Signs by Craney, which is across the street.
Correct.
And he had a flyer that you were having an open house.
That's right.
Looking for people who need a job or are looking at changing careers. And you were having an open house for people like that to come in, tour your institute, and get an idea of what you do.
That's right. We had our 2021 open house. That was July 21st.
Yeah.
And the purpose of it, again, like you said, is bringing awareness to the trades.
Right.
My dad was a welder. And so for me, that was the one skill that changed our life. And so I realized not a lot of people are aware, right? Even before the pandemic, there was a big gap. A big skills gap.
Right.
So we wanted people to understand, all it takes is putting more tools in your toolbox.
Right.
And how do you do that? With skills.
Right.
The other thing is we're kind of unconventional, I would say. We're a proprietary school. So that means we have a little more flexibility than state institutions. And so I took that and ran with it. As a regular person, I know that most people struggle with schedules, especially adults, parents.
Right. Right.
You have a tight schedule. You don't have a lot of time. And that makes it hard for you to focus. So what we do is we take people in all walks of life, and we do the majority of our skills hands-on.
Nice.
Because we want to make sure, of course, safety is the first,
Sure.
things we do, and we do utilize the classroom. But other than that, we're practicing that safety as we do the courses.
Right. And in the way your institute is set up, it's really like a hands-on.
Oh, yeah.
It's you go in, you're doing actual.
It's a shop.
You're doing the work just like you were in the job.
Yep, and that includes signing it, clocking in, clocking out, taking a break, being responsible for their tools, which we also provide. We're one of few schools that provides the starter toolkit, including the tool bag and any PPE, such as auto darkening hoods, boots, lockout, tagout, anything that you need. We build that under the tuition, so that way you're literally walking out ready for a job.
Right. And now you work with companies, and some of the jobs that you have available, the companies actually sponsor the training, right? Is
Correct.
that how that works?
Correct. Yeah. We provide services to employers because we know that a lot of times it's very time consuming for them. And just not feasible at the shop to do that on the job training. So what we do is we take curriculum from whatever skill that is. So if we're working with the machine shop or we're working with the welding shop or whatever the case is, pipe fitting, we take what they do and then figure out a way how to put that together with the standard curriculum. For example, for welders, it would be the standards of AWS, which is American Welding Society. Robotics, right now we're doing FANUC. FANUC is one of the largest robot brands. Allen Bradley PLCs. So again, we take the standards from the governing body, but then we figure out a way to fill in the employer needs and be able to get them,
that's
to
perfect.
start working.
And now they come and they can go to the school and you help them find employment with some of the companies you work with. Now, when they go through the classes that you have, are there any certifications that are available when they get done? How does that work?
So we have everything from pre-apprenticeship programs. We call them straight to work programs because a lot of times, people are not sure what they're getting themselves into. So we want to take smaller steps to achieve those bigger goals. Therefore, we do those straight to work programs. If somebody is obviously already in the field, has experience, then we go ahead and enter them into the industry recognized credentials programs. So we're talking AWS certifications, FANUC certifications, Allen Bradley, and whatever other governing body there's out there. What a lot of people don't know is that there's certain skills that are not governed per se by any other company. But industry recognized credentials means that if you have the expertise in a certain skill or skill set, you can do your own credentials. For example, forklift, that's not something that is transferable. You can say you have experience, but the job will recertify you in their equipment, in their shop. So, again, we're just making it easier. Most people say, how do I start?
Right.
Well, back in the day, it was really easy. You had a dad, an uncle, a friend, a neighbor, somebody, and you started. Plus, these skills were given at high school. There was wood shops, metal shops, welding, now that there isn't that, we are kind of fulfilling that need. Even for the youth, we work with students from high schools or GCI, which is I still call it the Skill Center.
I know, Skill Center. Yeah, I call it that too. It's the Genesee Career Institute. Yeah, it's Skill Center.
Yeah, and in the summer,
for those of you who haven't heard of GCI.
Right. We're aging ourselves.
Yeah, I'm old.
That's all right.
It's okay.
So we work with students from there because they have a 2-year welding program. So what we provide is additional under the hood hours during the summer.
Yeah.
So it works out great. Yeah.
That's good. And so you're looking for people to come and learn these skills because you have companies that are really in dire need of employees, right?
Let me put it this way. There's no lack of jobs.
No.
There's lack of skills.
Right.
So we're trying to fill that gap, and what I really want to advise people at this point is that it's the right time to invest in yourself. Right. Right now through September, there's still, thankfully, a lot of assistance, where you don't have to worry about, paying the rent or the mortgage and still, trying to get some schooling. We work with the state. 99% of the people we've put through have been sponsored by the state, especially right now with so much, coronavirus type assistance. And then also the time. How many of us, if we are working, have time for training? So we have 2 solutions for that. We do a no excuse schedule, which means you tell us when you can be there. Right? We're available from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Obviously, the shop's not going all day, every day. It's just, when you tell us you can be there, we get the instructor, we get you there because we understand that daycare or transportation or just lack of time may be an issue. Then the other solution we have is we are in development of VR training, virtual reality with the Oculus Quest 2.
Okay.
So that's
Fantastic.
even more exciting because now we're bringing the environment to you.
Right. And when we're talking about these jobs that they're training for, a lot of these are in advanced technology. So they have robotics programs. They have, the production
PLC.
welding. These are... A lot of the companies you're working with are some of the robotics companies, including automation movers, right?
Most of the companies here are automated. There's even the robotic welders.
Right.
So a lot of our guys that have already gone through the welding, now we encourage them to the robotics so they can, match those skills.
Match the skills up.
And I was saying earlier, remember when there was a big... wave of robots are taking our jobs mentality.
Yeah.
Remember that? Most people remind me of Auto World, and I said that's not really what it's like.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Having said that, I think to myself, no, we need to re-educate people because it's not so much that robots are taking our jobs. They're doing the things that honestly we shouldn't, due to safety or speed or strength. But they're creating new jobs.
Different type of
safer jobs, more
cleaner,
comfortable, cleaner. So definitely, and the kids nowadays, they can teach us a thing or two of the computer. So I'm, a lot of us older folks have, those hands-on skills, but the kids bring, that technology. So we need to pair people up. The baby boomer generation, the clock is ticking. So we need to,
Lowe's putting me in the grave already. I'm not a baby boomer, but still.
You're funny. I was going to say, you do not look. But, that's happening. Let's be real. That's happening.
No,
and we want to make sure we match
there's
a youngster with the senior.
Right. And there's new workers coming on board.
Yeah.
We got to get these young people involved. It's not just computers, though. They need to have those skills, the mechanical skills as well, because when you kind of have to put those things together.
Yes.
To do a lot of the jobs that are out there. And I had to laugh because when I met Lo, I was laughing because I told her, I said, if you watch Mike Rowe, he will let you know that there are all kinds of jobs out there for people that want to get involved, and they are high-paying jobs. I mean, I was talking to one of the companies the other day, and they said, look, we have 100 openings right now.
Oh, I believe you.
And we start at $25 an hour. And I'm like, maybe I need to go. Maybe I need to get involved in that.
Girl, you might just
if I was younger, I would. But, at this point.
I'm glad you're bringing that up because the other thing we look for is people that are ready for retirement or semi-retirement because, again, we don't want to let go of that knowledge that they've built over these years.
Oh, my gosh,
and
yes.
give it. So we're looking at, bringing in more consultants, more instructors, and what better than somebody
to lose out on those
stable.
Skills or that we always call it institutional knowledge at the township. We just had somebody retire that had been there 25, 27 years, maybe 30 years. I don't know. She'd been there a long time. She was very young when she started. She was like 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
She was so it must have been 30 years, but it was one of those things that's like, oh my gosh, the knowledge that just went out that door of things that had happened in the past is just it's incalculable.
You're right, and like I said, one skill can change your entire life. That was that was my story. My dad was a welder, worked for a company in the U.S. Dad goes down in the 80s. We come to the U.S. Farm work. That's all. Even though we lived in a big industrial city, I had never seen a cow. Honestly. And most people thought because I came from Mexico, and I'm like, no, this is where are the cabs? Where are the people?
Right, exactly.
But so we were in a farm. Something breaks down. My dad, no English, but he got it fixed. So this guy's like, hey, do you want to stay through the winter? Because normally we would go back. He said, we need your skill. So then later on, at the end of the winter, another guy says, why are you still working here? If you're a welder, there's a city called Flint, down I-69. Go look. Yeah. And sure enough, my dad came, got a job, we've got a house. Yep. And because of that skill, our
and people
life
can
changed.
live that dream again.
Yes,
I mean, there are tons of
absolutely.
jobs out there. So let's get your information out there. How can people get a hold of Lo?
Yes. Yes.
You need to get a hold of Lo if you're looking for a skilled job and you need some training. Lo is going to help you out. So give them your best place to get a hold of you.
Not a problem. The best way to get in touch with us is via either Facebook, email, or calling us. I also do a lot of texting, and I know that's what people like. So get ready for the numbers, people. We are located at 4110 Marketplace, Flint, 48507, right off of Bristol Road and I-69. And our number is 248-299-8310. 248-299-8310. I always have a hard time with that number, extension 311, but here's the better way. Just have my cell phone, right? Text me. Make sure you text the name because I don't want to say, hey, you. But text us at 810-874-3411. Again, that's 810-874-3411. Or simply shoot us a text at training@automationmovers.com.
Awesome.
Visit us on Facebook, of course.
That's great. And I want to thank you for coming in, but I got to wrap this up because me and you went a little long, but that's okay. I would like to remind our listeners.
Tend to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to remind our listeners to, if you have any questions or you missed out on those numbers and you need them, email me at discoverflinttownship@gmail.com. You can visit us on Facebook at Flint Township Events. Our YouTube channel, Discover Flint Township. Our Anchor channel is Discover Flint Township for the podcast. You can visit our webpage, discoverflinttownship.com. Catch the pattern here?
Yeah.
Or you can visit the township's website at flinttownship.org. Again, I want to thank our guests.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and thanks to our partners, HAP, Shea Automotive Group, Financial Plus Credit Union, Guaranteed Rate, and 103.9 The Fox. Discover Flint Township with us next Sunday at 7:30 a.m. right here on 103.9 The Fox. I'm Tracey Tucker, the Flint Township Economic Enhancement Director, and I would like to remind everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, shop local, buy local, and discover Flint Township.
This has been Discover Flint Township with Tracey Tucker. For more information, visit discoverflinttownship.com. Flint Township is ready for your next move. The preceding program was pre-recorded and was paid for by Discover Flint Township. The views expressed are those of Discover Flint Township and do not necessarily reflect the views of 103.9 The Fox or Krill Communications, Inc.